Look at that. Excellent production value. Who would have ever thought, huh? Who would have ever thought from my channel that you would get excellent, good quality production values? No, not me. I didn't think that I would have this sort of quality on my channel. But you know what? Here we are, my friends. Here we are in this wonderful Wednesday. And this video was originally going to be an actual video. But I decided, you know what? Let's just do this as a live stream. I could have probably made it better, probably produced it better had it been an actual video. But I think the content favors a live stream better just because, I don't know, maybe you could tell me about your own experiences inside of the worst place in the planet. Statistically, the worst place in the planet, which is a magic shop. Unfortunately, this is a magic channel. So one of the things that I have to talk about here is magic, even though I don't like talking about magic too much. I'll talk about magic sporadically, right? Like just little things here or there. But to actually get nitty gritty and deep and talk about theory and talk about things, I think you're wasting your time because you're just mentally masturbating. But here the topic and the entirety of the length of this live stream is going to be dedicated to magic shops and my reviews of all the magic shops I've ever been to. I have a list that I'm going to go through. I think, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've been to 7 different magic shops in the course of my existence, and they all suck. They all suck for various reasons. Maybe some suck less than the others, right? But ultimately, they do end up all sucking major balls because of maybe the situation around it, like the environment around it. Maybe it could be the fact that getting to the particular magic shop might be a hassle. Maybe it's the magic shop itself that's just a nightmare and a hassle. And I've talked about these throughout the course of the channel, of course, but today I wanted to dedicate an individual live stream to talking about that. I should have made a video now in hindsight because look at this. Look at this. First of all, the ISO, I didn't even set it high, so it's a little bit dark. I don't know if I like that. It looks a little bit too moody. I don't know if or maybe it might just be the brightness of that monitor. I hope you're well there in Florida, buddy, says the Magic Corner. Same to you, dog. We have somebody watching from Las Vegas, Chico the Coaster. Chico the Coaster. I'm not a fan of coasters. I don't know if that's a controversial opinion. I think they're useless. I get that if you have a nice table, you don't want that ring to appear on the table, right? When you put a drink and there's moisture in it. But if that's the case, then you have a shitty table. You have a shitty table. I'm not going to have a additional object like a coaster to buy a coaster and place it on a table. The fuck? Oh, I'm sorry. Let me just have my pinky up. Might as well, right? What's up, my piggas? Says Manel. Manel, I got your email. In regards to the intro song. If you like the nice little intro song in the pre-stream portion, it's Manel, who's also made some tremendous artwork for me. One that I'm still pending on, which is a poster that I got to procure from my living room area here. Notice I called it a living room area because that's what you have to have here in the 305, where rent is for a half one. Not even a 1-1. For a half one, it's probably $1,400, right? And that's on the low end. So we got, I'm waiting for that, but he made the track. It's a variation of the Outfield song that I used in my 50K video. So I'm very grateful to that. But I got your email. Dog. Don't think that I just dismissed that like a prick because the fame has gotten to my head. I'm out here dropping hot videos for dozens and dozens of potential viewers. And suddenly the fame's gone to my head, so I can't respond. No, that's not the case. I got your email. Not roller coasters. I'm a fan of roller coasters. That was it's like my same relationship with ketchup, right? Okay, let's go. It's my same relationship with ketchup, where I initially didn't like it, and I was with a significant other that hated it. But then eventually, after that went away, I tasted it and it became probably one of my favorite condiments. Same thing with roller coasters. I didn't like them. I didn't like roller coasters. I was like, I'm not going to go to vacation to feel uncomfortable. Why am I going to go to, Orlando or Tampa and go on one of these roller coasters? I'm not here on vacation to feel uncomfortable. And a roller coaster makes me feel uncomfortable. No. I got to tell you, I'm a fan. I'm a fan. But here's the thing. It has to be like one of these big parks. I'm not going to go to Six Flags and go on a roller coaster or the Miami-Dade County Fair. Jesus Christ. Could you imagine the level of care that those guys have to the attention to the screws and the nuts and the bolts? I'm not going to deal with that. I'm not going to deal with that. No, thank you. But roller coasters, I am a fan of. But that was an acquired taste. Gabriel Acevedo said, whoa, PigCake, baby. Let's go. Okay, let's go. That's my favorite video, I think. I've probably seen that video. I hope you could hear it, by the way. I hope that it's loud enough. I put the audio a little bit extra just to make sure that you could hear it and put it on. But magic shops, right? Magic shops, they suck. So before we get into the actual specific magic shops, let's talk about why magic shops suck. So we're in 2021, almost 2022, right? Magic shops subscribe to the idea of brick and mortar, right? Which, yes, there's a lot of merit. I like going to the mall. I like going to a Best Buy. I like going to the stores that actually exist. I'm a fan of that. I like going to the individual place and looking at what it is that I'm going to purchase, right? I like that. But when it comes to magic shops, you need to do both, right? In order to survive, you need to do both. You need to have a website, you need to ship, and then you need to have something that you could provide to people that isn't a physical object, while at the same time still having a magic store. And you need to make sure that in the magic store, whatever it is you're paying, right, for rent, you got to make sure that you're making that with the sales and that it's justified to have a store open, right, in order to actually sell your products. But most magic stores aren't doing that. They just have this. They just have the shop. Their website is made on like HTML1, and sorry, they're made in like a net. What's it called? There was a joke there. Netscape. They were coded in Netscape, right? So that's what you're dealing with. And then you go and the person's rude and they're dickish and they're not really. You're trying to ask them questions about stuff. You want to give them money. And they're being dickheads. That was my experience in a couple of the shops, as I'm going to talk about later. But magic shops suck. They just suck overall. Even the good ones. You're going to see that Tannins, which is probably the best one that I've been to, still kind of sucks. And we'll go into reasons why Tannins sucks in a bit. It's not the shop. Let me just spoil it here. It's not the shop itself. The shop is great. Very nice. Old school, right? You have everything there. There's somebody demoing. They're very nice to you. That's not the point. All right, because the shop could suck because of the context of the shop. So that's going to be something that might be a theme throughout this live stream. But I've been to several magic shops. I haven't been to a lot of magic shops. Right, I haven't been to a lot of magic shops in the sense of maybe dozens, but I've been to enough. Right, you're not really seeing anything new. When you go to a magic shop, typically it's a tourist trap, as we have here in the southern tip of Florida. Now, the first one that I ever went to is called La Casa de los Trucos, right? And it's the House of Tricks. So you would assume that the entirety of the store would be dedicated to magic. Nope, that's not the case, my friends. That's not the case because La Casa de los Trucos is and I'm saying it like a gringo intentionally because I don't want my Cuban to come out. But I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that one. And when I initially went there, it was as a kid. So everything's big, everything's bright. Let me see if I could, I have a video here, right, of the magic shop. Let me see if I could play this so you could kind of get an idea as to what it is. I don't care about this. Okay. So let me smoothly transition into that real quick using my technology. But first of all. Okay, let's go. That's so good. That's so fucking good. So let's go here to this so you can kind of see it in the background what it is that the shop is, right? So this is it, right? That's the shop from the outside, and this is a place that I used to frequent in my youth. I remember going there several times with my mom, and my mom would get duped by the salesman. My mom bought me a vanishing cage for a bird from this place, and the guy didn't even show it to us. He just said, hey, this bird cage vanishes. And she goes, yeah, we're buying that. I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need that, Mom. What are we doing here? And she goes, oh, no, you're buying that. And I still have it in my mom's house. It's this weird cage that shoots in your sleeve, but it doesn't look good. It looks exactly like it goes into your sleeve. So I remember having that and buying all these, or my mom having bought all these props, which was, of course, I'm very grateful, but I told her at the time not to, but this is the shop, and you would assume that a name like that, which literally translates to the House of Tricks, right, would be full of tricks. But no, because when I was younger, you had this immense, and I would say immense because everything to me is big, right, as a short person. But you have this whole section of the shop. Let me see if they even show it here. So you have obviously these crackhead cutouts. But let me see if I could kind of quantify it. So they used to have this whole back thing full of magic tricks, right? You used to be able to look, and there were tubes and interesting stuff all in the background. And there were, I would say, maybe 5 or 6 different individual sections dedicated to tricks. No, not anymore. Everything is just costumes, and all the tricks are in one little section. And they're all shit. They're all terrible. You have scotch and soda that you could literally break the coin. You have these old Johnson tricks that are eights, literal eights, that are in this brown cardboard packaging. I'm sure half of the things have asbestos in it, but this shop was probably one of, this is my first shop that I've ever been to, and that was my first exposure to a magic shop. And it's in 8th Street, right? If you're not familiar with 8th Street, it's a gross part of town. It's now it's gotten better, right? All the tourists there, but all the it's full of just. I was pissed on 8th Street. I had a homeless man urinate on me as I was riding back. I had a skateboard, one of those electric skateboards, and I was riding back from my previous job to my apartment, and a homeless man urinated on my shoes as I was riding by on my skateboard. That's 8th Street in a nutshell, right? And then you have a mix of all these tourists and all these people trying to be fake Cubans and saying all these traditions that Cubans do that they don't do, right? To tell these tourists like what it is that the culture is based on, which is not true, right? I've listened to these tour guides and they don't know what they're talking about, right? And that's 8th Street. All the props are 100 years old, and inside it smells like mold. It smells like mold in there. So if I ever want to shut it down, I'm pretty sure all I have to do is just call in OSHA and see what it is that the conditions are of the shop. But it has like a scent, like a weird grandfather house scent. So also, I wrote my note to myself, full of refs. I recall one time being at the shop, and the worst time to go is during Halloween because it gets inundated. Even though all their prices are ridiculous, I don't understand anybody that would go there and buy costumes because they're $30 above any website that you could buy them from. But there was a woman that she was pregnant, and she had a baby, and her boyfriend didn't have a shirt on. And they didn't let the boyfriend in because he didn't have a shirt on. And what I love is that this guy was so inbred that he wasn't aware that a store wouldn't allow him inside without a shirt on. He just thought he could walk in, and that's normal behavior. No, you need to have clothes on in order to enter places of business. And they told him, no, sir, you can't be inside here because you have to have a shirt on. And then he made a whole thing. He was all thugging, and he was outside standing in front of the shop doing this thing. Right? Which is like hood shit. Like dumb, hey, I'm not going to make it to 25 because I'm gangbanging shit. You know, like dumb shit. So his wife had this is what the whole aside here is to tell this particular part. The wife was pregnant, had a piercing, had a stomach piercing, right? And obviously she was wearing a shirt where her stomach was exposed. She had a lock as her piercing, right? Most girls have that little, whatever dumb shiny shit. This one had a straight up lock, and it wasn't a cute lock. It wasn't like, oh my God, it's a decorative lock. It was a master lock that she had just hanging from her belly button aesthetically. That's the type of clientele that you have in this particular place. That's the best, I would say, a good summary of what you expect when you come to Miami, Florida, and you go and check out La Casa de los Trucos on 8th Street. And the baby, I mean, imagine she's holding a baby. She has another one, and they're going to have to unlock her, literally. I hope she at least has the key or remembers the combination, but she just had a lock there. And it's just sloppy tits. Man, that was a fun time. But that's the House of Tricks, the literal House of Tricks. Let me see if they show something here. I saw a couple vlogs, like these terrible fucking vlogs of like, oh, here we are in Miami, Florida. We're visiting the House of Tricks, right? Slap the camera. Let me see some of these comments. So I saw a couple blogs that went to the La Casa de Trucos, and it was shit. They're all like cringy and stuff, and I refuse to show you guys those. Didn't Xavier get robbed by a magic shop? I think so. They kind of fucked him on a deal, I think. Besides, they have nice people. Won't go if your most shops in general are nice. Well, I'm talking about my experiences. The ones that I've gone to have all essentially been dickish. We have Top Notch.
Okay, let's go.
Fuck. In the chat saying that's my type. I imagine that's your type, right? Because anything with a wet hole is your type. But this one in particular, I'll never forget the lock, and I'll never forget the boyfriend outside upset at the audacity of a magic store or any store to go, no, you can't be. And he was doing this. Let me see if I could best quantify this. He was doing this thing. What are you doing? What are you doing? What's the point of that? Jesus Christ. I don't understand. Are you trying to intimidate the store for having the audacity to tell you that you can't have, you can't be inside the premises without a shirt, a shirt, a wife beater, put on a tank top, put on one of those cutoffs at least. My goodness. So that's the La Casa de los Trucos. Let me show the rest of this fucking video so you kind of get a better idea. But this is my first magic shop. This is the first magic shop I ever went to, right here in on 8th Street, right? And I guess this is the COVID stuff. You shouldn't worry about COVID if you're going inside there. Okay, but here, like this is right next to where the magic tricks are. So it's gone from 5 of these, right, including above, to just one. So now it's just one lonely little see-through shelf, right? And that's all you get when you walk into that particular shop. One. And if you go in there and you go, hey, I'm looking for the magic tricks, they go, what the fuck are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? Magic tricks? What are you, a virgin? What are you? I was going to do the let's go, but I can't. So that's what it is. And that's my first experience at a magic shop here in the 305. So my experience, I guess, in nostalgia, right? I don't know what to rate it, but just based on nostalgia alone, yeah, it's my first magic shop. So obviously to me, it was a big deal. But then going back to it, I'm like, no, this is terrible. It's like Toys R Us. When I was younger, we used to go to Toys R Us every weekend just to peruse, right? That's what you do when your mom has 4 mouths that has shot out of her vagina. It's you don't go to Toys R Us to buy stuff. You go to Toys R Us just to look around, right? That's kind of what we used to do. And when I was younger, Toys R Us was this wondrous, amazing place. And then before they closed the one here, we went, as a kind of like, oh shit, let's check this shit out. It's garbage. It's trash. It's horrendous. Everything's nasty. There's too much shit. It's just weird. It's not the same. So you have the rosy retrospection of your youth. But that was the first shop I ever went to. Machismo is the funniest thing. Yeah, but dude, you're banging a chick that has a lock on her belly button, like an actual master lock. And that's what I was appalled by. I guess, okay, maybe like a cute little small lock, right? I wouldn't partake in any of that, but a master lock, what are you trying to do? Like, what perception are you trying to give to people when you have a master lock? And here's the thing, those are heavy. So you're pulling down the piercing, and it's going to be eventually just a sloppy, it's going to look like a sloppy pussy. It's just going to look like the what was the world record woman that she had sex with 900 guys in one day? That's what essentially you're getting after you have a lock on your belly button, pulling down the, my goodness, just the thought of it. Stu Batman says, happy Wednesday to all. Agreed, hump day.
Okay, let's go.
Is that as funny to everyone as it is to me? Is that as funny to everyone? Or is it just my autism that I find that funny? Let me see the other one here. I have notes, right? Look at that. I'm professional. I got notes to myself. But there's another magic shop here. Right, there's another magic shop here. There's a very touristy spot in the 305. And the worst part, the part that offends me about this particular place, is that every tourist wants to go to this place called Bayside. Right, it's downtown. You have to, if you choose to walk there, you're going to step on semen. right? You're gonna step on semen. You're gonna see some needles. You're gonna see some weird, nefarious, homeless activity. But you have to go through that in order to get to this particular part, which is called Bayside. And in that shop, they had a magic shop called the Magic Hut, right? Which, from my understanding, was like a franchise, a trap per se, and I don't mean the sexual trap, right, where you're dating for a year, and then she goes, hey, I gotta tell you something, I'm actually a dude. And you go, what? Huh? Oh, is that why we only did anal? Man, that hurts me. Whoa. The joke is that they're doing anal on me. That was a joke.
Okay, let's go.
That was a joke. I hope that you got that. Right. But let me drink this and not just hold it like Jabrizi did on his live stream, because he was doing that weird thing, not to beat a dead horse, but he kept doing that thing where he adjusts the can out of nervousness and then he doesn't drink from it. Let me actually grab this and drink. Diet Coke. If only I had a red button that I could press that brings Diet Coke to me. So we have that shop, Magic Hut. This is a Yelp page because, spoiler, it closed. It closed because it was trash. It was garbage. It was an awful shop. Everything was overpriced. It's a shitty tourist trap, right? It's an awful place, and it smells like tequila because there was a daiquiri store. There was a daiquiri bar nearby, and they happen to sell, liquors and tequila and rum, and it smelled like tequila. It smelled like seawater, like old, dirty. Imagine. We call it sobaco in my part of town, right? Which is essentially like ball sweat, because you're by the ocean, so it smells like the sea, but it's not the good sea, right? I love the smell of seawater. I love that sort of, oh shit, I almost spilled my whole shit. I like that scent, usually. Some people hate it, but I love that seaweed sort of scent. I'm a fan of that. Some people think it's gross. This smells like, do you know what dirty pussy? Let's just be honest. Let's just be frank. It smells like a not douched vagina, and in it you have fairly new magic props. Believe it or not, I remember when I visited this particular store, they had some stuff that was just out in the market, like new stuff, but they upcharge it like $40-50. So you could buy, for example, the trick that I saw they had was what's his name? B whatever was his name, and he came out with that trick that was with the marker. Sorry to get virginy, but it was that marker that had the magnet in it, right? That would allow you to see what people are writing. I forgot what it's called, but they had that, right? And you could buy that on Penguin for like $20 to $30. In this shop, it was like $70. I forgot what the name of it was. I bought it because I liked it. I just lost the marker with the little magnet in it. You have too many Sharpies, right? You have too many Sharpies as a magician. I'm supposed to keep track of one that has a little magnet in it? Come on, be butter. But that one, I'm sure somebody's going to mention it. But it's by B. Smith, Robert Smith, B. Smith, I think, B. something. It might be B. Smith. But it's that marker one. And the name, I know it. And it's going to drive me nuts when I see it. But again, $50 more, right? So that's the sort of stuff that you would see in this particular store. So imagine how is it that I kept up with this virgin art when the only magic shops that were in my vicinity are trash? They're garbage. They're tourist trap shops, right? They smell like sewage. And this is what I was exposed to when I wanted to increase my love of the art by visiting a magic shop. Something that every book happens to say, hey, you want to improve your love for magic? You want to get in it better? Visit your local magic shop. Well, I visited my local magic shop, and now I want to do something else. I want to be an oncologist now, right? I want to deal with more cancer as a result of what I dealt with because of my experience in magic shops. So you can kind of see the picture back here, the sort of stuff they have, the props. Gosh, can anyone tell me what that B. Smith product was? Cypher. It's called Cypher. $50 over. They were selling it for $50 over the actual price. So in Miami, those are the only two magic shops, and then one of them's gone. And the other one, I'm sure, has some nefarious tax thing that they're doing, which is why they're still up. Or maybe they just pay nothing in rent, and they just bank on this sort of October months where they really make a lot of money. You can't walk in there in October. At any point in time, you can't walk in there because it's so slammed. Let's see. I've seen worse. A guy tried to sell mental dice for $5,000 and not even gimmick the method. Whoa. Well, I'm sure he's doing that because there's an what do you call this? There's a market for that, and some retarded dude that would go, oh, that's a good price, and then buy it. You know, so I'm sure that he's doing that for a reason. It's probably worked in the past. What do you think of the Cognito app? Worth a buy? Well, I know Lloyd Barnes. I don't know Lloyd, which is odd enough because I've been told many things about him that make me think that I would enjoy him as a person, but I've never actually interacted with him or met him per se. But Cognito, from what I've been told by by people that have it and by people that like the idea and stuff, it's interesting. It's definitely an interesting idea. I like the thought behind it, right? That it's just based on you could say that it's timing based. Right, that a person is looking at something in particular, at least one of the methods. But it's definitely interesting. And I think that it's cheap enough compared to all these other magic apps that it might be worth an impulse buy, right? It might just be worth that. I don't have any interaction with it. Maybe they should send, if they want a review, right? If they want a review, maybe they should send one in my direction, and I'll gladly shill for it. But I like the idea behind it. I like that it's just something. I saw them do it on the Wizard product review, and I thought that was a very nice idea. I hated the length that they needed to get to that point, right? I feel like maybe it was like 3 too much. But if you didn't watch the performance on Wizard product review, it's this great trick. You have a bunch of cards, a picture of a bunch of cards, and then you talk about perception, and you have them think of one of the cards, and you have them swipe through the pictures. But then by the end, the pile of the cards has now turned into the card that they were thinking of. So the pile is shaped like what they're thinking of. So I thought it was cool. But that's just me without having bought it. So I don't know. Maybe if Lloyd wants to send one my way, I'll gladly show, because I'm a whore. You send me something and I'll shill it. Without even a care in the world, because I'm a whore. But PigCake, that means that your reviews can't be taken seriously because you're biased, because you want to keep getting cool stuff. Well, know that before you watch my reviews and make a purchase, that I'm heavily skewed because I want to keep getting cool shit. Right, so just know that, and then watch my review with that in mind, and then maybe that would affect your purchasing strategy. A skanky snatch, yuck. Most magic tricks and magic shops suck. Those are outdated and need to change the vibe. Something more Disneyland vibe, says Hane. And you know what? We're gonna get to that when we get to the last one. Which is well, I mean, I've talked about it before in videos, and I was actually talking about it with Xavier on his one of his live streams recently, because he went there. He went there with his boy Caramel, and I believe Blaze Sarah, who's somebody that I would definitely, if he touched my thigh, it would go down. Very attractive, that Blaze. And we were talking about that shop and how hysterical it was. And I've talked about it before, but a spoiler, that's one of the ones that I have in my list, which, by the way, is too much because it's not even a magic shop. You can't walk in there and buy a trick. You can't walk in there and just go, hey, I want to buy that. You can't. You can only buy like 4 things. The old adage goes, it's better to do 10 tricks really well than 100 shitty. Yeah, I guess. But when it comes to a magic shop, right, you want to still have 100 available, because you don't know what a person's going to want to buy, right? You don't know the type of magician, so you want to have stuff that's available, and you want to have stuff that's available to people that aren't necessarily going to want to go to the shop. So shipping thing. So you have your brick and mortar shop, but you still have your shipping, and the majority, I think, should come from your shipping. That's how I think you should have a shop. And then maybe you have lectures, you have people coming in, you have people coming out, you buy them, people get tickets. There's a way of maintaining them, right? And I know it's easy for me to say because I don't have a fucking magic shop, but these old magic shops are stuck on their ways, and they're stuck on, no, people want to come to shops. Yeah, they do, but you're so niche and you're so specific that you're eventually going to be turned into a Starbucks. So let's go here to the next one, I believe. The next one is Tannins in New York, right? And I've been to New York a couple times. I've enjoyed it. So this, let me see if I could pull up a video here of Tannins. What I should have done in hindsight, by the way, was I should have had these videos playing in the background, right? As I talk about it, as opposed to just vaporwave. But like an asshole, now I got to cut to this weird little fucking square in the bottom. I should have thought about that, but yeah, too late. So this, I believe, is a video of Tannins. Tannins is one of the most popular magic shops in the world. They're one of the best. They're one of the best stores in the world. They have a good selection of new stuff. They have a selection of old stuff. They're always demoing shit. Let's go here. Well, first of all, I said let's go.
Okay, let's go.
Right, but let's actually go. So this is just a dumb little video. I guess they shot some sort of news on the oldest magic shop in New York City. And I assume this guy's about to do a snap change. Nice, dude. And this guy with... okay, this is rough. Nice. Nice. Okay. I don't like this guy's hair. I'm not playing the audio on purpose. But they have a good selection of stuff. Good selection of books, props, right? They're always demoing. Everything's good. Everything's well taken care of. It's maintained. The prices are reasonable, right? Obviously, there's going to be a little bit of an upcharge because it is a brick and mortar store. But they're reasonable, right? I remember I bought a wallet from Tannins. It was a, what do you call this? The Hip Pocket Mullica wallet. Paul Harris Presents. Right, it's one of my favorite wallets to this day. I think it's a beautiful wallet, and it was very reasonably priced. I would say maybe $5 above Penguin or $5 above anywhere that was selling it. So decent price and good value for that, right? So PigCake, what's your problem? Why do you say Tannins suck? Tannins seems like a great store. It seems like it's a fun one, right? You see people buying, you see people lecture, right? It's very well maintained. Magic Ballet. I don't know if he still works there. I don't know if he does, but I saw him demoing stuff, and that guy, man, that guy, I imagine he's probably demoed stuff like a million times. I'm not even kidding. This guy's probably done a million demos. But he's a tremendous pitchman, right? I guess he's gonna do the bubble shit, where he does the pops the bubbles, as you might have seen on TikTok, right? So this guy's probably demoed this about a million times. Not even exaggerating. So this is what you're going to get in the shop. It's great. So what's wrong with it, man? Piggy, what's wrong with it? Why would you have a problem with Tannins if it's great and everything's fine and all the props are... My issue is that it's in New York. That's my problem. New York City. Let's go to this one here. New York. New York is a dumpster. As you could see, here is a rat. This is a normal occurrence. There is, I believe, a rat enjoying a meal on what I think there is a Subway. We have another picture that I saw here. Let's see if they load it. Of course they don't. This picture right here is the one that I was wanting to show. But it's just trash in the streets. You know, just normal, everyday occurrence there. You just walk by and there's piles of garbage. And then, the people rip them open. And they, peruse through it and leave the trash everywhere. That's normal, right? That's just a normal occurrence there. Nothing too challenging about it. Nothing complicated. That's just the way things are. And people don't care. People don't care. That's normal. So it's in New York, right? So my issue is that, yeah, you have the greatest shop. It's wonderful. I love it. I don't have any problem with the shop whatsoever. The prices are fair. They're demoing stuff. They're courteous. They're there willing. Hey, I have a question about that. Right? They don't care about the methods, right? They're not going to, if they see that you're a magician and you go, but is that really something that's cool? They'll go, yeah, fine, look at this shit. But it's in New York. The elevator to get to the building, the elevator is, it's like a fucking coffin. You go in there and you're pretty much, all my claustrophobia comes up and it's just, you're just doing this right here, just in your coffin, hoping that the elevator doesn't get stuck. And if it does, well, guess what? You already saved the time and the effort and the money because you're already in the coffin. So I never liked that. And it's all narrow, and to get there is just a mess. You have to go into the subway. There's always a homeless guy just randomly stabbing at the air. It's just a weird city, right? And it's just normal. People step over bodies having seizures in the middle of the streets. That's just normal to them. So that's my issue with Tannins Magic Shop. It's not the shop itself, it's the context, right? And the context is it's in New York City, and New York City is a trash hellhole. And I'll argue anybody that points, right? I think New Yorkers would say that it's a trash filled city. And of course, I'm talking about the city itself, right? The main city, maybe on the outskirts. you only have a 75% chance of getting shot or stabbed on any given time. That's okay. That's normal, right? But actually, just in a city alone, right? Especially recently, I've noticed they've really took it to they've put it on overdrive.
Okay, let's go.
So good. Let's go. I don't tend to connect Japan with Magic. They seem to be more serious in China. That bubble trick has huge untapped potential. Yeah, but the bubbles are really small. The bubbles are typically really small. So when you get them, they're like this. So the contact juggle, you can't see them. So imagine doing this and it's already gone. Whereas the other ones, if you have the big balls, right, like I do, you could do all the little like squeezing the bottom nut thing. I should imagine China has the best magic shops. There's a great video that I used to show, believe it or not. I remember I used to show this whenever we would talk about China in the world history classes, which is Penn and Teller go to China. And that's eye-opening. Obviously, it's an example of, I think, specific things. But it's interesting to see there because... it's like taught when Penn and Teller go there. It's hysterical because they're teaching these really outdated, shitty versions of tricks on a government level. For them to have jobs, and their jobs are essentially to be to be in a circus. So the way they presented it was pretty interesting. If you look up Penn and Teller China, you could watch that. They did one in India and they did one in Egypt, and those are one of my favorite documentaries that I've seen on based on magic in particular places like that. And it's just weird as shit because you see them go to a village where it's like a bunch of people just on a street doing magic, and then they go to this government auction sanctioned thing. What's your opinion on story-based card tricks? So the jack is the hunter and the aces are the rabbits. Just made that up. That's I mean, I would say kind of gay. But if you have a good, compelling story, I mean, Jay Sankey had this trick years ago called bodyguards that I used to do verbatim. Right? Like, oh, here I have 4 bodyguards. I need a person to cover. Or I need a person to protect. So if you have a story, it could be pretty compelling. Why do I hear noises? Like loud hydraulic noises outside. I'm not comfortable with that. So if you have a good enough compelling story, you could probably get away with it. But I think just based on that example alone, I would not be a fan. So let me see. Sorry, I've ignored your comments. I'm trying to get to a point here. The India one was really good. Yeah. They're trying to do the rope trick. They're trying to find a rope trick. I thought it was a little bit contrived what they were trying to do. Right, a little bit in terms of how they were trying to do or fabricate this narrative of the Indian rope trick, but I thought it was a good look as to magic in different places. Right, like Egypt one was interesting because you had that weird guy that was scamming them. The China one was also interesting because at some point the guy that their little guide person was they found to be kind of not scamming them but lying about the method, right? Because they were so protective of their secrets, which is just funny. But they're all worth a watch. Egypt, China, and India, if you haven't seen those already. So hold up. The next shop, let me see where this one is here. So the next shop in New York City is Phantasma. Of course, I have a fucking ad on YouTube trying to watch this. Maybe I should put ad block on fucking Microsoft Edge, right? But the next one is Phantasma Magic in New York. I think they closed down, right? But Phantasma Magic was a fun store. It was nice, right? They have a bunch of products. Everything's well taken care of. They have a little museum. Right, it's things are slightly overpriced, right? Just to maybe instead of $5, maybe $10 over than what you would normally pay. But it's nice. It's a great store, right? It's a nice little store that you could go to, and you could go there and look at all the exhibits and little Houdini's handcuffs and stuff. And it's a nice store, right? And of course, they sell Phantasma Magic products, which I grew up with, and they're great because they're a little, Svengali deck. Right, the bubbles. Speaking of the appearing bubbles, you could go there and you could buy that and high quality versions of that, right? However, there's one glaring problem with Phantasma Magic, and the big problem with Phantasma Magic is not the price of the stuff, is that it's in New York. We just talked about this. It's in New York City. It's again, it's a trash city, right? You put up New York against Miami, Miami's gonna eat it alive, right? And New Yorkers think, oh no, we're New York, baby. We're in New York, baby. No, you're just you're retarded, right? So that's the problem. You're in New York. Right, this is an example. I'll play the video, or sorry, I'll play the audio of this so you could hear it.
They only see this in New York. Rat versus pigeon. Who will win?
It's in New York. New York, baby. New York.
Nice,
If you can't see what that is, that's a pigeon fighting a rat. Right, I believe that's a rat devouring the pigeon. So the pigeon was alive, and it is no longer alive because the rat now is eating the pigeon. And this is here's the thing, right? To me, I see this and I go, "Whoa, dude, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life." To a New Yorker, they're like, "Yeah, that was Tuesday. That was Tuesday." That was just, that's a normal thing. You step over that on a daily basis. There's a gang war between the pigeons and the rats. That's just normal here, right? Oh, but why are the rats there? Because the trash is in the streets. Because you guys just throw shit in the streets, and then you put that on a boat, and then you take that to a trash island. Because you guys have a terrible sanitation system. So I don't get it. And people say, oh, New York, baby. What is it that you like about it? The $2,800 for a 1-1? Is that what you like? $2,800 for a 1-1? Are you crazy? Yeah, that's a reasonable price for an apartment.
Okay, let's go.
I'd rather French kiss my dad. I'd rather make out with my mom. But yeah, $2,800, and then guess what? Oh no, it's not. It's not expensive if you move out 200 miles from anything relevant, right? So that's when it's not expensive. Yeah, you got to go to outside of the city and go to like somewhere like Queens or go around to the nearby vicinity, right? And there it's cheaper. But you're hundreds of miles away from anything. And I know I'm exaggerating, but you're from anything interesting, right? Yeah. What am I gonna? I'm gonna go to a bodega. I'm gonna just hang out in the bodega in Queens. And then have a risk of getting shot or stabbed? What? Are you crazy right now? So Phantasma, great store. The only problem is that it's in New York City, right? And that's, I think, the underlying issue with that. So you can imagine, by the way, had this video actually been a video in itself, right? Right now, I probably would have gone into a 10-minute aside on how New York City is a trash city. So that would have been part of the video had I produced this as a video. But I decided, no, dynamic. Let's make it dynamic. Let's make it interactive. Let's make it a live stream. So you guys are welcome. You guys are welcome for that. $5 million for a 500 square apartment full of rats. You said it. JT says, worked through all the stuff you sent me. Thank you. Good shit. Thank you, JT. Thank you for checking that out, man. I'm glad that could help you. Are Penguin and Murphy's only online? Well, Murphy's is not a magic shop. I believe they're a distributor. I think. I might be wrong about that. So any store that carries Murphy's, you could have a brick and mortar store that carries Murphy's products, but they themselves don't have one. Penguin do not. They have they just exclusively ship shit. Speaking of pigeons, where's yours? I don't know if that's like a racist thing because Cubans typically do have pigeons. I know 3 Cubans that actually breed pigeons. Like that's their hobby. They collect pigeons and they could tell you about the different plumage and the speed of the pigeons and where the pigeons are from. So that's a Cuban thing. And I thought it was like, oh man, no, it's a lot of Cubans. I know maybe 5 people. I know 5 people that are really in there on that pigeon tip. So speaking all this trash about New York and how terrible the city is and how it's garbage, right? And then here, the competition is that we're breeding the pigeons. So you could see the big old hypocrisy here, right? Let's go.
Okay, let's go.
That's great. Okay. The Black Death is just waiting around the corner. Next pandemic. The next panoramic. Yeah. Paris is the same, just full of rats and ugly now. I think somebody went to Paris recently that they told me that it was that. Yeah, it was pretty shit. Danny moved house, George. Yeah, I don't know who the George is. Oh, where's yours? Okay, you're talking about Daniel. That's funny. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna go over there actually tomorrow. Stay with him a couple days at his house in Sebastian, where all the swingers are at. Right? My perception of Sebastian, Florida, is that that's where all the swingers are. Right? You go there and you're just essentially dealing with nothing but old people swinging. Right? But you know, I guess that's the nature of a city that literally has nothing to do in it. You have nothing to do in Sebastian, Florida. What am I going to do there? Right? I'm going to go to a bar. I'm going to go to and get some old lady to hit on me. And then her husband is like giving her the eye. And I'm like, hey, what's going on here? And she goes, oh, no, we're into this. You know, he's kind of into me hitting on people. And you go, oh, okay. All right. Good to know you guys have been married that long. Where now this is a normal thing. Why do you keep showing a kid? I'm not just showing a kid. I hope the audio is playing, right? Is the audio...
Okay, let's go.
Yeah, the audio is playing, right? Is the audio playing? I hope so. But he's saying, let's go. And I've watched that clip about 1 million times. What's the airspeed velocity of an... was that unladen pigeon? I'm not sure. I gotta tell you. If I knew that, I'd definitely be true to my nature as a Cuban man. But I haven't been to a magic shop in Chicago, by the way. That comment that said, ever do business with Magic Inc. in Chicago. But the point of the stream is that the magic stores that I've been to in person, right? I've shopped at a lot of different magic stores over the years, but these are the ones that I've been to in person specifically. And they all suck. Right, and we've gone through all the reasons why they all suck. The last two, you could say, oh, they're great. Oh, my God, they're really nice. Piggy, why are you being so hard? Because New York sucks. New York is a cesspool. All the times I've been there, the clothes that I had on, that I brought back to Miami, had the same scent of New York on them. And it took 3 washes in order to get rid of that scent. Royce. Okay. So let's see. Audio works. Okay. Audio does just audio. That's great. That kid you have as transition is actually out of a German documentary that is about the kid preparing for the fair with his father. I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that. When I was looking it up, they had a whole thing about, the kid, and then the dad was also equally as awkward when it came to his love of the fair. But boy, is it probably one of the funniest videos I've seen. So far, look at the production value you guys have here. I have 2 drops so far. I have this one, right? Let me see if I could play this. I have this drop. Royce, right? In reference to the bachata reggaeton singer Prince Royce, because I heard that sound and it's probably the funniest sound I've ever heard in my entire life. Imagine you're walking, right? You're walking your little miles, right, in a day, and then you have music on and it's on radio, and then you hear this sound just out of nowhere. Royce. I died, and that's his signature. So he just comes in and goes, oh, Royce. That's how he started the song. So it's not like that's the intro to the song. That's literally the first 2 seconds of the song. It's, oh, Royce. And whoever mixed that, the sound is coming from here. It's coming from here, the sound. So it's like in the back of your head that you just hear Royce. So production value, my friends, we're going up. This channel is going up in production value. We're not going to downsize. We're only going to upsize. It's only up from here. Okay? Let's see. Have you been to any UK shops? No. I haven't been to UK at all. I plan to go maybe next year. And I keep saying that, but then I don't do the due diligence that I need to do to go to UK, which is renew my passport. My passport still has my baby pictures in it. So unfortunately, I haven't done that because I'm lazy. And I don't want to go. It's like the DMV. Imagine I'm gonna have to set myself up one day to go and just deal with it, and I don't want to do that. So, but I definitely want to go next year. Okay. So the next shop. I went to Vegas a while ago. This was before I drank. So imagine I went to Vegas stone sober, which is definitely not what you want to do if you're going to Las Vegas, Nevada. But I went to 2 magic shops in Las Vegas. I looked up, I Googled magic shops, right? I'm like, okay, let's see what they got here. The city literally of magic, right? You have so many magic shows. You have cards everywhere. You would assume that they have the best magic shops. So I went to a store called Houdini's Magic Shop, which looks like this. Right? Houdini's Magic Shop. I'm covering most of it. Look at that. Tremendous production quality. But you could kind of get the vibe of it. You could kind of get the vibe. It's a tourist trap. Right? It's a tourist trap. And Las Vegas is a drier, hotter New York. Right? It's just a hotter, drier New York. Because it's also trash. It's a trash city. Yeah, you do have a lot of cool stuff, but at the same time, you're gonna step on a needle. You know, you're gonna step on someone's meth, and that's normal, right? You're gonna get accosted by people. It's just the vibe of the city, and this one's a tourist trap shop, right? So you go in there and you expect to find stuff. You're not gonna find anything, right? You're gonna find a lot of. Let me see if they have it here. If I could do this, you're going to find a lot of this stuff, like a lot of pranks, like a lot of weird little, oh, look, hey, it's a cigarette that blows up baby powder. Whoa, dude, crazy. You're going to trick your parents into thinking that you're smoking and then get beat up and killed, especially when you have a parent like mine. Houdini's charges $39 for an invisible deck, and it's overpriced. But here's the thing. I think in this shop, I bought probably one of my favorite marked decks of all time, which is the Houdini marked deck or whatever it is, which has like 97 markings. I just saw a post on it on, I think, the Magic Cafe. And it's the greatest marked deck of all time. It tells you the position of each card. It tells you the card before it, the card after it. It tells you whether the card's red or black. It has like 19 different markings on the back of the card, and all well hidden. Obviously, you're going to catch some if you're staring at it. You're going to see them. But well hidden if you don't allude or misuse a marked deck, which I think was like $30 for the deck. But the deck is probably one of my favorite marked decks. I bought 2 of them when I went there. But as far as that one, I think that it was definitely an overpriced magic store, and it's one of those tourist traps, right? So you have to go in there, you have to find a place, and then you go in there and there's a bunch of tourists going, whoa, is this what Vegas has to offer? And they sell a lot of those little custom, oh, you could buy a custom decal for your car when you go back home, you just Vegas with your name on it. So it's that sort of shop. Bill Goldberg says, on the bright side, the height of your old passport won't need to be changed. Thank you for that, Bill. I appreciate that. I saw a TikTok video of you in a grocery store recently, which was weird to see Bill Goldberg in a grocery store. You would assume that he would have his groceries delivered to him, but no, Bill Goldberg goes out there and spears them himself. He grabs his own groceries. But thank you for that. I appreciate it. I needed a height joke this stream. So there's Houdini's Magic Shop, right? Trash, garbage, overpriced, right? The other one was, oh yeah, dude. Let's see how many fucking messages I get within 2 fucking minutes. I only have 400. Well, that's no deal then, buddy. What? I had a thing recently. I don't understand how rude people are on these apps, right, where you like put stuff for sale. And I like to, hey man, how you doing? Would you take, 400 for that particular item? That's how I respond. But these guys, they just respond for the number, 400. And then I respond, hey man, thank you for your offer. That's a little bit low, right? Like an individual, like a nice individual. And then they respond like trash. They respond like low class trash. I hate that. And that's happened every time I've used these apps. It's never like a nice conversation, a cordial conversation. They just shoot a number, 400. And it's always like 800 off of what you want, right? It's like, oh, here's a reasonable product. Here's a reasonable price. Would you do 150? Yeah, I'll do 150. Are you retarded? So that's that one. The other shop was something known as Top Hat. The Top Hat and Wand Magic Shop, right? Let me show you this so you kind of see what it is that I'm talking about. Look at that, right? So this is a store. When I went in there, I bought a ring from the store, right? I bought a what do you call this? A magnetic ring from this particular store. And the guy was an asshole. The guy was cranky as shit the entire time. He was kind of a dick, dismissive. And the store looked empty. It looked closed, right? It looked like, you know, like nobody's been there. I had to look around. It was in one of these little weird strips. And I remember walking in here. This is exactly what I saw, right? This sort of thing. And it's hard to find. And ultimately, when you walk in there, it's like a guy that walks in from the back. He just walks in from the back, and it's like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're doing good. How you doing, man?" Fine. And then he just goes and sits down. Doesn't even say, "Hey, if you have any questions." Just a shitty interaction. And again, overpriced stuff. Here it says Nomad Pad 2.0, $99. Can anyone tell me if that's a good price? I don't think so. I don't think so, right? But you have some like modern stuff, I guess, like relatively modern stuff. But man, you're a dick. Like, are you going to be a dick and try to sell on someone? That's not a good business model, to be a cunt and to try to get me to buy stuff. So that's my interaction at that one, at that particular magic store. So no, thank you. No, thank you. This store was just a shitty experience. I'm kind of pissed at myself for buying something from the store and giving them some cash. I was kind of pissed just based on how the guy interacted with us. But I felt when I was in that store that I was going to get touched inappropriately. Right? I felt like I was going to get touched inappropriately. Like someone was going to just come in me, right? Literally come in me. So that was my experience at that particular store. Sucked. So you see, all these stores so far suck. But then I think we come to the last store on my list. So I visited, let's see, that's 1, 2, I think 6 so far. And this is the 7th store that I visited, the 7th magic store, which I think is the most powerful example of the worst magic store I've ever been to. And again, I've mentioned this before, right? I've talked about this particular place. I've shown you what the guy showed me. So let's go to this particular place here so you could see. The Great Magic Hall in Orlando, Florida, right? Kissimmee, if you want to be specific. But this is the Great Magic Hall. And this is not even a magic shop. This is not a magic shop. What they do is that every hour, they have a tour, a free tour, right? And you go, and it's on the it's every hour at, I think, whatever, 45, the 45 minute. And you go in there. And they say on the outside, greatest magic store of all time. Rated all around, awards everywhere, amazing magic store. And you walk into the tour, and the guy goes around and tries to upsell you on their shows that they have every night, right? I think every night or every other night. The guy upsells you on the stuff. And then he shows you through, and throughout the tour, he's doing, you know, the bubble trick. He's doing little dumb things. And then you leave. And that's the fucking tour. What magic store? What did I do here? What did I purchase from this fucking place? I can't purchase anything. The only thing that I could purchase are little shitty versions of old Phantasma tricks, like the bubble trick. Or you could purchase, I don't know, the Svengali deck for like $40 on plastic finish. And my favorite thing of all time, which every time I have an opportunity to do this, I do this. Which is at the end of the fucking show, at the end of the tour, the guy does this. Let me see if I could best capture this. He goes, I don't even know if I could do this, but he has a business card, right? So this is a business card, and he does this thing. He goes, hey, so the details of the show are on my business card. You could see the details here, and you could see them here. You could also see them here or on this side, or you could see them on this side and on this side. And then he goes, and if you want to contact me, you could just look at my information on this side. And that's how he fucking did it. With those pauses and everything. As if showing the fact that there's ink on the other side is a magic moment. and he's supposed to wait for your applause. I'll never forget that. And the person I was with took out their phone, and he goes, "Are you gonna put that out? Are you gonna put that phone down?" That was so funny. I'm surprised he didn't have people put their gum in his hand. But he does that thing, man. I'll never forget that. And he does all these terrible card paddle moves. And then you could contact me here. Right here. On this side. That's where you found my contact info. That's how it felt. That's how it felt like to me. I felt like I was going to get molested at the end of that. And that was my experience at the Great Magic Hall. 0 out of 10, but 10 out of 10 in terms of virginity. And those magic... So all magic stores suck. They all suck. They're all terrible. They're all not good. They all have, you know, their pluses and their minuses. Obviously, tenants, if you want a magic store that's good, it's the best one that I've been to. But the context sucks. It's in New York City. You only want to go to New York maybe once every 10 years and then move on. Just go along. You don't want to deal with that. Your clothes are going to stink for the next month. Your shoes are gone, by the way. Your shoes are gone. Everything is 20 miles away from each other. Oh, you want to go on the subway? Good luck if it rains a little bit. Good luck if it rains just a little bit. You're going to just be stepping in just sewage water. Right? There's videos of these guys just fucking going through the subway and just dealing through sewage water. What? You didn't think of that when you made a subway? You didn't have a thing in place for when it rains? Are you crazy right now? You seem like you were disappointed that you were never molested in any of those. Yeah, that's the truth. The truth is that I'm disappointed that they didn't touch me. Right? They didn't touch me. Let me see what the note that I wrote for myself. So for the Great Magic Hall, the notes that I wrote for myself are only magic store where you can't buy magic tricks. You have to wait for a tour every hour where you get upsell terrible versions of tricks that want to get you laid in a laid factory. That was my my note. And paddle move with cards. That's what I wrote to myself about the Great Magic Hall in Orlando, Florida. My goodness, what a fucking shop. What a shop. I love that place. I'll go there again. And what I'm pissed about is that Xavier went there, right? It sucks that I couldn't meet up with him because it was, I forgot what I was doing, but it's 4 hours north, essentially, from where I'm at. And they went to the place and they shot a video there. And I would have loved to have done that. And I thought their video was going to be, you know, making fun of the whole thing, but they were very positive about it. That's funny. What do you think about hypnosis? For a long time, I wanted to do hypnosis as a career. So I wanted to do hypnosis as an actual career, but then education came in and that took it away. And then eventually this became my career, my friends. You live in Miami and you're shitting on New York. Yeah. And I know there's a massive hypocrisy there. I get it. But the city's clean. Right, you come to Miami, you go downtown. Yes, there's shitty stores, but you go anywhere. You go to Coral Gables, you go to Coconut Grove, you go to all these places, and it's clean. Right, they're re-upping things. It's a nice place. You have the bay, you have water, everything's nice. You got the beach, right, and everything's clean. There's no trash on the streets. What? Are you crazy? The idea of piles of trash on the streets is just it's impossible for me to think, but yet that's normal over there in New York. And then, oh, we got subways, man. We got the best transportation. Yeah, but what if it rains for more than an hour? Well, now you got to sift through the water and you got to just swim through the rats and the pigeons. And there's pigeons on top of rats on the water. And they're going through like it's a Disney movie. Ridiculous. So those are the magic stores. Those are all the magic stores that I've been to. Your experiences, I'm sure, probably differ. But I think based on my empirical evidence, I could say that magic shops suck, that they suck. And you might disagree with that. You might agree with that. But at least for the ones I've been to, nothing about those stores have made me want to go, whoa, dude, I really want to go back. I'm sorry, tenants. I'm sorry, Phantasma, if you're still around. I'm sorry, because your stores are great. But what's around your store is hot garbage, right? Las Vegas, if you have a brick and mortar store, right? How about you don't be a dick? How about you don't be a dick to people, right? That might be a good way to get returns on your customers that aren't either on the registry or if you told them to act their age, they die, right? Maybe that's a good way of having a new influx of people. Let's not get the government too much credit. Honestly, it's the hurricanes that clean Miami up so often. That's a good thing too. But we could deal with the hurricanes, right? We dealt with a Category 6 almost hurricane, which is not even a thing, but it was technically. We dealt with one a couple years ago and we came back easily, right? Because of our building codes and how strong it is. Yeah, I know. We had that Surfside incident a couple months ago. That's an outlier. That's just one incident. But our building codes are tremendous, and we dealt with that. New York gets one tropical storm, and it becomes a whole, hey, let's have a concert for New York. Let's have a concert for them just to raise money because of all the floods, because of one tropical storm that hit New York. What? Your infrastructure is even garbage. I should just have a whole video just shitting on New York. The only magic store in my city needs for you to ring a bell to enter because they're not open usually. Yeah, they're definitely one of those stores that have the signs that say, we'll be back. That's the other thing, by the way, when I go up to Sebastian, Florida, about the stores there, which I don't understand in like these little cities. It's that the stores are open from like 1 to 3. How do they pay rent? How are they remaining open? How are they alive? You're open for like 2 hours and then every other day. There's a lot of those stores there, so I don't know those. I'm not understanding these magic shops that have the same rules about that. Rats on top of pigeons is just New York City mass transit. That's, you know what? You nailed it on the head, buddy. You nailed it on the head. That's exactly it. But that's normal to them, man. That's normal to the people in New York. And then they go, come on, man, New York City. Songs about it. Alicia Keys has songs about New York as if it's this amazing place. Oh, look at the view. Yeah, look at the view from a place that you're paying $5,000 a month for a half one that you share, right? A 0.5, not even a 1-1. You share the 0.5, and the bathroom is like a shared bathroom. It's like, oh, it's a communal bathroom that you got to go to. And they're like, it's New York, baby. So the point of this video, right? The point of this video is not really that magic stores suck. It's that New York sucks. That's kind of the point. I know. I baited you, right? The video was, oh no, look, magic shops suck, and my experience with the magic shops. But really, it was to tell you how much New York sucks. Charlie says, you cross the line when you insult my city infrastructure. Stop it now. That's hysterical. Are you wait, Charlie? I don't know if that's the same Charlie that I'm thinking of, right? If that might be a different Charlie. Are you the same Charlie that I'm thinking of, or are you a different Charlie? That'd be interesting if you were the same Charlie that I'm thinking of. But I'm insulting your city's infrastructure, and don't get me started on your school system, on your PS1 9, PS4 7. What numbers? Your schools don't even have names; they got numbers. That's how many people are cramped in a shitty place. Let's see. Oh, it's the capital of the world, but I wouldn't suggest anyone move here, right? That's what it feels like. Right? Are you from New York? Heat shield? Is that what it is? Anybody, please, to have an argument against me if you're from New York, please let me know, because I feel like you you probably agree. I'm not saying Miami's the best, right? I'm not saying Miami's the best, but it's definitely better than New York. So many places in the U.S. named after UK cities and towns. Yeah, you got Jersey, New Jersey. You got York. You got New York, right? You got Manchester, right? We got a Manchester here. So it's just a bunch of that. I don't think so. I'm from the UK. Haha. Okay. All right. Because I knew a Charlie up there, but it was a relative of a relative. So I don't know if you're the same Charlie that I was referring to, because that would have been dope. Let's see. Let me go back through here. Let me go through the comments. This is, of course, the end of the video that's based on the comments, what you guys have to say, right? So this is the part that I enjoy the most, because we've already gone through the bulk of the video, which was my disdain for magic shops. But here's a point where we could get into some hot banter, you and I, about stuff, about things that you might have, disagreements you might have, right? So this is the part that I enjoy the most. I should have a little segment. You know what I do?
Okay, let's go.
I do have a little segment, the little, thing that you could see about it. New York's such a big scam. You pay so much for below average homes. Yes. And there's a whole thing on that, on the real estate over there. It's because you're too old. Look up the subways. There's mold sometimes. I believe it. I believe it. Look at what we have here. We have above ground. We don't have subways. We have metros, right? Which, yeah, granted, there's a lot less. They're harder to build, right? But look at what you got. You're above ground. They're above the sea level, so you're not gonna have an issue with that. Although they are tourist traps. That's the problem with our metro system, is that it's not based for people that live here. It's based for the tourists. So they take you to other tourist trap places. Let's see. This one here, UK sold, is always in maintenance. A third is just scaffolding. Poughkeepsie, New York, does have a lot of ass. Poughkeepsie, New York. I just watched a video. Not a video. It was a movie called The Poughkeepsie Tapes. And I wasn't familiar with people liking or knowing about that city, right? I thought it was like a small city, but no, it ends up being one of the bigger cities in New York State. And it was a very weird movie. I don't recommend it if you're squeamish, if you're, afraid of, I would say, very, very fucking hard visuals about kidnapping and sexual assault. The movie's full of that, but it's like a haunted, it's a found footage movie about it. But I definitely recommend it if you like found footage horror movies. So what do you get your magic props? I get them from Penguin typically when I buy stuff. I haven't bought stuff in a while, but Penguin Magic is definitely the one, my go-to when it comes to that. Just because their shipping is quick. They have a lot of stuff. Illusionist sells flash paper, so I buy flash paper from them. I haven't bought in forever, but they have it. And but they also have some interesting stuff, but that's pretty much it. Illusionist and Penguin are pretty much the only places I buy from. Murphy's is not really you could buy from them, I guess, right? But they're not really a shop. They're more of a distributor. But those are the ones that I would typically go from. They're absolutely buildings. Okay, Hene, so true is that they're taking down beautiful buildings to build absolute eyesores. Yeah. That's my favorite thing, right? You have all these wonderful old school buildings, these wondrous pieces of art as architecture, and they go, no, we're gonna demolish this and build a Minecraft house. We're gonna just crash this and then just have a Minecraft, right? Just a PigCake's Magic Shop opening up soon in Miami. I couldn't even get people that are from Miami to respond to me on fucking Instagram or YouTube, right? Hey guys, is anyone going to this Joshua J lecture in a couple days? I'd like to meet up and then maybe talk magic. Nobody. No one. So for me to open up a magic shop in Miami would probably be the worst entrepreneur idea or endeavor of all time. Nobody's gonna fucking go there. You're gonna have two people that go there, and they're just gonna go, "Oh, cool, man. All right, that's cool. Yeah, that's a cool thing." So no way. I think I considered it. I think me and Daniel were talking about it, that he was considering opening up some sort of actual card shop, and then maybe do some magic stuff. But no, the rent is too high, and there isn't enough of an audience here. Yes, probably online, I could probably, push that. But to get it started and to get that ball rolling would be too much for what we would be getting out of it. Found footage, unsolved mystery. Shit, that is cool. Thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, definitely watch that one. But you'd watch it in frustration throughout the entire time just because of the ineptitude of the investigators and how powerful they made this killer in the movie. Really makes you want to turn into an ACAB Emily. Right? Really makes you want to turn into an ACAB Emily. But you know what? That's the video. Thank you guys for watching. That's the stream. I'll be back on... Actually, no. You know what? Sunday, I'm going to be in fucking Sebastian. So I don't think I'm going to stream on Saturday. Maybe I might do something with Daniel and stream, right? And then we might do something. But we're coming back Sunday. So maybe. Who knows? But I do these every Wednesdays and every Sundays for the time being. And make sure you hit on all the stuff, and that's where you could be notified as to how you could join a stream like this. And we have some back and forth, and we go through amazing topics like magic shops, as we did today. But as far as anything that I have to say, I think this
Let's go.
is definitely a good summary of that. But thank you guys, man. Really, I mean it. I'm not just saying that to be like a gay YouTuber. Right? I mean it. I mean it. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. I enjoy the views, the banter. I enjoy doing these. So thank you guys, because obviously if it wasn't for you, I'd just be doing this to myself. I'd just be... advice, I guess, at the end of the video. Some advice. This is good. these are good, right? I've been busting this out like this, right? So you just fucking load the shit up. Forearms are neglected, so you want to make sure you're doing some good forearm exercises. That's a good way of doing it. But apart from that, Kamala Harris.